Tiff, I want to pivot a little bit to kind of where we're at today with Survivor. So I'm curious to start. Can you just kind of share with me maybe your general thoughts on kind of Survivor season 48 and what's been happening?
Sure. I mean, so I'm I do follow Survivor and I follow a lot of like just the threads just to see what people are saying and to match it with how I'm feeling. So, I hate's a bad word. I dislike a little bit, the couch mongers that are sitting there and talking about every season because remember, these are people and they go out there and this is their dream and they are playing how they want to play. So can you really judge them for that? No, but that's what we do for reality TV. We always judge. We sit back and we judge. Oh, I would do this different. Oh, this is boring. Of course, we know they're going to win this and blah, blah, blah. But that's just the nature of Survivor. When 41 came out, and I really mean this with a lot. Everybody hated our season. Like they were such haters. It was not good. I feel like if you go back and watch it again, it would be different because we really didn't know what was going on. I think it was like much more entertaining than people really gave it credit for. And I also think that the extra time that they're getting is so much better because you really see more of the players, right? You see more of what they're going through, and you kind of get to know them better. And I think that that's how Survivor Evolves is really good with that extra time on screening. I think that's excellent. Um, Season overall, I understand some people are saying it's boring. I get it. It's boring because you almost can predict the next person voted out with almost 100% certainty, right? So if you were a betting person, this is the season you want to start betting on because of the people that are where they are now and their spot, right, in Survivor world. You're kind of looking at Eva and Joe and Kyle, Shauhin, and Camilla as like a strong five at the moment, at least, right? Before some kind of chaos has to come. I feel like other people, if there were other people out there, which there aren't, would probably start to make bigger moves right now because it's kind of going to be, you know, it's either you or them. But with the strategy of knowing that you're a solid four and really trusting that alliance, like it almost definitely gets you to where you want to be. So it's almost like saying to someone, if you have the choice of almost making $1 million, why wouldn't you do that? Right? Each and every one of those players at the moment, Eva she's got an arsenal, right? And she's got Joe, and he's a beast. And then you have, Kyle, who's just so likable and so smart and secretly has this Camilla alliance, which is so, it must be like they must be not talking to each other a lot during regular hours because to be out there and not see that those two are playing is a really good that's a really good game if they really don't know it because I felt like I was in tune to everybody who was playing, right? So I don't know. That's remarkable if they're really not seeing it, and I guess they're really not seeing it. Um, so I sort of feel it's predictable, which makes it a little less fun. But I still love Survivor, and I still love watching the challenges, right? And I still loved watching Camilla win because anybody could have won that. So is it super like riveting? No, I don't think it's super riveting, but I don't think it's Survivor. Like you're still watching. All you fools that are talking about how bad it is, you're still sitting on your couch, episode 11, watching it. Like that's the truth. So, you know, how do I feel about it? I feel like, of course, I'm sitting there eating my sushi or whatever the heck I'm eating, saying, "Oh, I think I would flip on Joe right now," or wow, Mitch and Camilla and even Kyle could flip now. They could all flip and get Shauhin and work something out to like get rid of that duo, like if they had to, right? They could at least try to flush an idol, stop giving her all that power. But that could have been talked about. Hey, Eva, use your idol tonight. I think they're talking about flipping on, like, just to like make it a little bit more even playing ground, and then she wins to go to this next thing and get knowledge's power. Like, I mean, how much more can this girl have, right? So, is it predictable? Sure. Is it still Survivor? Yes, and it's still fun to watch, and I'm still going to watch it. And so is everybody else. So, like, not the most riveting season, but I wouldn't say it's terrible.
No, I think that's good.
Right?
And it's honestly interesting hearing you say all that, especially from a player perspective, because I will say, I mean, I've been watching Survivor a long time, and I kind of have been like a small hater to this season as well, just because it's
Yeah,
like you said, a lot of it's been predictable. And I think more than anything, it gets frustrating when you're like, okay, like people like Mitch and Camilla, I'm like, why are you not making more of a move? Because at the end of the day, like when we get down to these smaller numbers, you guys are gonna go.
you're
Like this
out.
four has proved that they are not gonna go against each other. So you need to do
Right.
something. And it's just so invigorating when they don't do anything.
I know it is, but you know why they don't do anything? Because they're scared. When you're out there, you're playing somewhat scared. It's too much of a gamble. Like I can make it one more day if I don't flip now, but they're not looking down the road, and that is what's so hard when you're playing Survivor. You're just kind of surviving the day, and you're not looking down the road far enough because you just want to make it one more day. And when you're almost guaranteed that if you vote this person out, you're making it one more night, you're not thinking it's going to be me tomorrow. So that's why it's the only reason why. It's because that safety is so comforting that you're too afraid to make that move. And that is how I think everybody plays differently the second time around. Like if it's not going to be me winning, like I might as well go, go to the wall and do as best I can. But when you're a first time player out there and you're at day 20, you're really gonna grab on to like it's annoying for us because we're like, why would you not at least try? Like, try to do something. You're not going to be here in 2 days, but to them and how it feels out there, when you walk out of that tribal council and you're like, oh, it wasn't me. It's like the best feeling in the world. Like, so that's why. And yeah, I'm a hater for that too. I'm with you on it. It's just I know what it feels like to like not have been the one that night, right? Because my name was written down before that. That it's just like you make it to the next day and you're like borrowing, stealing everything you can, right? Anybody who wants to work with you. And I agree with you. I would have made. I feel like now I would have made the move, but playing it, I don't know. I might have went one more night in safety.
For sure. Well, and
So
everyone's in their own preservation mode, so it's really hard to say. I have a few questions for you about kind of the future of Survivor. But before that, I am curious briefly, who's your prediction for the winner of this current season?
yeah. So I think I predicted early on Kyle. I think I said I think he wins it early on. Um, I was as I was watching, I started to sway a little Joe, but I think jury wise, I think Kyle is definitely a front runner. He hasn't made too many people angry. He's played the middle. I think Joe's starting to get a little bit of a bad rap around, around everybody. And yeah, I think it's got. I think it has to be Kyle right now. That's kind of where I'm leaning. How about you?
Yeah. I would say with who's left, probably Kyle as well. But I also would kind of
Yeah,
like to see like Camilla make some big moves here at the end and then maybe pull out the win also. I just think for me, I would prefer for it to be one of the two of them. I love Joe as like a person and his story, and I got to chat with him preseason and it was lovely. But
yeah,
seeing the way it's played out, I'm like, it would, like you said, it'd just be so predictable. And like him and Eva have just like, but I don't know, they've also really like somehow managed to kind of take the reins over everyone, and obviously no one's like pushing against it. So that also speaks to their game a little bit. So I don't
yeah,
know. I
for
would say
sure.
probably Kyle or Camilla, but I don't know. I guess we'll see how it plays out. But
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah, I'm with you.
um, season 50. It's been all
Oh
the rage. I feel like people, that's all
boy.
they're talking about now in the world of Survivor. So, what are kind of your thoughts on, season 50 and having this all returner season? Because we haven't had this yet in the new era.
Yeah, I think here's the rub. Here's how I really feel. Okay. Of course, would I have loved to go out there and play? Would I love to be a person out there and playing? Of course. I have two schools of thought on this. One of them is you're putting old school with new school, right? And I kind of feel like there's this rivalry to begin with of you don't know what it's like to play 39 days, you don't know what it's like to play 26 days, like, and I feel like it kind of puts new era at a disadvantage a little bit because I don't know. I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel that way. And I feel like if you go out and you're playing this season and you're a new era, like you better start making some really good connections with those old school players So you're got to be that like that lucky one or two people that those old school players kind of gravitate to, because I feel like once you get to merge, old school's going to go old school no matter what. So like that's how I feel, but I could be completely wrong. Maybe that's how I justify making myself feel better if it's not me that's going out there. Like, I want to be on that season anyway. They're going to eat up those the new school players. Um, but it might be such old school players that it might not matter, right? Because a Sean Rector or, I don't know, really old school, that it kind of could be an even playing field and maybe they'll just come together. I don't know how it's going to play out. It's interesting. I'm super jealous. Not going to lie, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see. I don't know how it's going to play out. I think everyone's hyped up for a reason. Um, who they're going to pick, I don't know even how they're going to go about that, to be honest. There's so many more seasons of old school than there is new school. And it's kind of like, how do you choose those people? Uh, what puzzle are you trying to fit there? Like it's really going to be interesting to see who they actually chose finally.
Well, I cannot wait to see the cast list myself because I also think it's going to be incredibly fascinating. So we will see what happens. But Tiff, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to answer all these questions and speak to me about your Survivor journey, about where you stand now, about how
Thank
you kind of
you.
see current Survivor, future Survivor, all the things. It's so nice finally getting to speak to you 4 years after your season. So
I
best of
know.
luck into whatever's next for you, and hopefully we'll get to chat again sometime soon.
That sounds great. Thank you for having me. And make sure that if there is another season coming up, that somehow we get something going, like a campaign to
Yes.
get me back out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll start it. We'll
All
do
right.
it. Yep.
That's the deal.
Perfect.